Hello everyone, my name is Sagar and in this video we'll talk about lab number 3 of MB-500 course. So we are going to apply SysExtensionSerializer framework. So let me write it. So we are going to talk about the SysExtensionSerializer framework. Alright, so generally if you have your standard table and if you want to add a lot of custom fields, so then ideally the best practice is that you should use this SysExtensionSerializer framework. So first of all, let me tell you what we are going to do. Okay, so we are going to focus on our custom table. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll create our own custom table. Let's call it something called MB-500 custom table, something like this. Okay, and inside this table we'll create three fields: description 1, description 2 and description 3. Okay, and then we'll link these description field into our all customer form. Okay, and now the beautiful thing would be that whatever changes you will do from custom table, you will be able to see these changes into your this custom table. So overall this customer table will be referencing to our own custom table. So if you make any changes in this field from this form, we'll see those changes. Additionally, we'll also create our own entity for this particular table and we'll see how it is going to link with the customer v3 entity. So the main data entity that we use for customers would be customer v3, right? So we are going to see everything. Okay, so let's start. Alright, so the first thing is that I'm going to go to my Visual Studio and I'm going to create a project with name as MB-500 Lab 3. I will say next, and here I will give a beautiful name, MB-500 Lab 3. Okay, let me again write it, MB-500 Lab 3. Alright, so I'll click on create. Okay, now one thing is that I have already reference all the famous models. Okay, so typically you will need to have AppSuite, App Foundation, okay, and application platform, dimension, directory, and personal tool. Okay, these are the models that you need to reference. I have already referenced multiple models, so that's why I can only focus on building the solution. Okay, now first thing is that I'm going to create my custom table. Okay, so I will go to table and I can give a name like MB-500 cust table. Alright, I will simply add this. Okay, as soon as I will complete this, so I will go to my AOT and I'm going to leverage this my original cust table. So what I will do, let me try to create a reference here. Okay, let me do it later. Okay, let me complete step by step. Okay, so till now I haven't done anything, simply added this custom table. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to select an EDT because I need to reference this custom table with my standard custom table, right? Okay. So I will go to EDT, data types, EDT, and I'm going to select this EDT, referential rec ID, referential rec ID, ref rec ID. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to simply drag this. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to change the name here. I will say name as cust table, and further I'm going to drag few fields here. Let me add these description field, so I'm going to drag them. I'm going to do it 2 more times, 1 and 2. Okay, now my table is ready. I have few fields. Now the next important thing for every table is index. So let me create an index. I will say here new index, and I'm going to give a beautiful name like cust table idx, cust table idx, and here I will say allow duplicates as no, and I will say this will be my alternate key. Okay, and now I need to add a field right here, so I'm going to leverage this cust table field here. Alright, at the same time what I will do, let me go to table here, and here what I will do, I will select that replacement key as well, this cust table IDs. Okay, so I'm doing everything step by step so that you can do it later practically as well. Okay, now once we are done, then we are going to leverage this SysExtensionSerializer framework. Okay, so let me go here. Now I will go towards my maps. Okay, and I will say new mapping here. Okay, and here we need to select the name of our map, so I'm going to leverage that one only, that is SysExtensionSerializer. Okay, so I'm going to go with this one. Okay, and I will save this. Okay, as soon as I will do, here you will see the base rec ID is available. Okay, so now I need to map this one to my this cust table. Okay, so I think now you would be clear. So actually what I'm doing here, I'm referencing from this table. This will get a reference to my this to this SysExtensionSerializer extension map. Okay, and this is an out of the box map that we can really leverage. Okay, now once this is completed, then we need to create relation as well. So you can choose foreign key as well, but I will go with this one. Okay, and here now I will start writing the name. Okay, here I can change the name. I can say cust table because I'm referencing to cust table. Okay, now we'll start changing the cardinality. Okay, so here I'll be selecting 0 or 1, right? This table can have either 0 or 1 reference, right? And whereas if I will go to related table cardinality, that will be exactly 1. Okay, now I have set up my cardinality. Okay, now this is important property on delete property, because let's say if your customer table data is deleted, so you want to delete record from here as well, right? So you can select the cascade here. Okay, and now here you will need to select a related table, that is nothing, this will be cust table, right? Because you are going to map your this MB-500 cust table with your standard cust table. Okay, so here this is also completed. Okay, now relation type we can go with composition in this scenario. Alright, but now I haven't yet created the actual relation, like which two fields should relate with each other. So I'm going to say new, and I will say normal here. So here if you see the rec ID, the cust table should be linked to the cust table rec ID. So what I mean by that is, from my MB-500 cust table, this field cust table, right? So I'm going to select cust table here. This should be linked to my cust table to rec ID field. Like from my cust table, I need rec ID field, correct? So I'm going to select rec ID here. Alright. Okay, now once you are done with all this, then it is really almost completed. But now we are going to override few methods as well. So I'll go to my method node, and here I will override 2 methods, insert and update, right? Because the delete is something you are not going to use, because it will automatically delete if the corresponding records will be deleted from your cust table. But for now I'm going to override these 2 methods, insert and update, and I will tell you the reason in a minute. So I can go to update, here we go, All right. Okay. Now the first thing is that you will write a condition here. So you will say if the the cust table rec ID is available, then only you want this code to run, right? So you can write simply like this. Okay, and let me put a tab here. Okay, if you will have a cust table record, then only you want to do, right? Similarly, here also you will write the same code. If your cust table is available, then only. Okay. All right. So you are done here. Let me do one thing. Let me remove this extra spaces. And yeah, here we go. All right. Now with this, what will happen? My table is ready and it is a reference as well. Okay. Now if you will do some changes into your cust table, okay, so you will see those changes into your this table as well. Okay. But now I've only done changes at the table level. And one more interesting thing that I want to tell you here is if you'll go to your cust table and let me go to my cust table. Let me view designer. And if I'll go to my methods here, let me open insert method. So here if you will see this SysExtensionSerializer extension framework will already be used here. Okay, so let me come down. Let me go here. It should be somewhere. Let me check. Yeah, here you can see this .SysExtensionSerializer map. So it is going to insert the data with the help of this particular map. We have the post insert method here. Similarly, if you will check update method here, there also you will see. If in case you have a table where this is not available, you will need to add it for that table as well. So here also you can see the post update is getting called. All right. So I've done changes at my table level, but now to test my scenario, I will need to do these changes into my form as well. So for now, what I will do, I will pick my original cust table form. So guys, I'm going to go towards my user interface now because I need to leverage this field into my forms now. So what I will do, I will go to my cust table here and I'm going to create an extension. So I can say create an extension. So I will open my this form. Now here I will need to add this data source like this new table, right? So let me wait for this form to get loaded. Okay, here it is ready. Now what I will do, I will add one more data source here. Okay, and let me go to properties and I will need to select table. So here let me say MB-500 cust table. Okay, as soon as it will done, the name is already changed. That is nice. Then I have to select my join source because I need to relate this table with my this cust table, right? So I will click here. Let me click again. So here I'm going to relate it with my cust table. Okay, and let me check what. Yeah, here also I can select outer join because we may or may not have records, right? So we need to use outer join. And here let me select these as no, no, and no. Okay, that's it. Okay, now I've added this data source, but I also need to add my fields as well. Okay, I need to add this field, right? So what I will do, I'm going to go to my miscellaneous detail and here I will try to add these fields. Okay, For that, what I can do, I can go to my administration. So let me search for administration. Here we go. So I'm going to add my fields here. So we'll cut this administration. I will expand, and here I'm going to drag these 3 new fields that I have introduced. I will drag and I'm going to drop them here. Okay. Now remember, all of them will have same labels. Okay. But let me change the label here so that we know the differentiation. I will say this as D1, and let me say this one as D2, and then D3. The D1. Let me say this one as D2, and I'm going to rename as D3. Okay, now my form is also ready, but here I will need to do some changes. But now here what we'll do, we'll create an simple COC of our this data source. Okay, so I'm going to do it manually. So what I'll do, right click, I am doing it manually, but I think I can do it automatically as well. So I will click on this create code extension. And I should see a class here. The first thing is that I need to create extension of my this data source. Okay. Now the reason for that is actually I will need to link both of these data source, my cust table and my MB-500 cust table. Okay, so let me open this class here. Okay, now as I need to create extension of my form data source, so I will need to change name here, right? So I will need to say this as form data source str, and this is my form name, and then I need to tell the table. So what is my table? My table is MB-500 cust table. MB-500 cust table. I haven't yet done build. Ideally I should do build when I have created my table. That's fine. And here I'm going to create COC of my init method, and let me do the next call, next init. Okay, Control Z. All right, now I will start writing my main code. Okay, so what I will do, I will say here form data source, form data source, and I'm going to say this as MB-500 cust table data source, and this is something I will get using this, right? So easily I can get the data source. Okay, and now further I need one more data source. I need data source of my customer table as well. Data source, I can see here cust table data source. Okay, and here what I will do, I can say this one has this MB-500 cust table. From this data source I can call my form run. From my form run I can call my data source. Inside my data source I can specify which data source I need, so I can say form data source str. Here I have to define my table name, that is cust table. I have to define my data source, so I need my cust table data source. I can say cust table data source. Let's see how many commas I need to close, probably 2. So let me close them. Alright, so this looks fine as of now. Let's check what I have written here. Okay, it's fine. Now I can leverage my SysExtensionSerializer form helper, SysExtensionSerializer extension, because I'm doing these changes from my form. SysExtensionSerializer form run helper. Here we go. This is a class. Okay, and here we have this construct method. Inside this construct method, if I will add, so there's a method called add extension table pair. Okay, now I need to provide my extension table later. First of all, I need my base table. My base table is my cust table, right? So I can say that, and it needs the record of my cust table. So I can give that using this form data source, and here I can use cursor to get the current instance of the record. And similarly, now I need to provide my extension table. So my extension table is MB-500 cust table data source. So I can use cursor of this. So I can say MB-500 cust table data source dot cursor. Okay, finally, what I have done, I have simply linked here. So I have linked these two data source, okay, and also the current instance as well. Okay, now the next thing is that I will need to override the write method of my cust table data source. Okay, let me reiterate again. What I need to do, now I need to create extension of my cust table data source. So I will leverage this create code extension here, and I will do changes here. This time I'm going to override the write method of my cust table data source. Even the name is something bad, but that's fine. So here I will say form data source str, and here I can specify my data source. So my data source is cust table. Okay, here we go. And I need to override my write method, so I can say next write. Okay, control Z again. Alright. Oh, my bad here. I should write public void write first, and then my method here, and then I can call next. Alright. So here also I need to use map extension. Okay, so let me write the code, you will understand. So I can say from data source, okay, and I need my MB-500 cust table data source, table table data source. So I can get this using this dot form run. Okay, then I can say I need data source, and to specify which data source I need. So I need data source. Here I will tell which data source I need. I can say form data source. So URC source str. Now here I have to specify my form name and which data source I need. I need this MB-500 cust table. It is not yet reflected because I haven't done a build and sync. Okay, then I need to close it, 2 commas. Okay. Alright, let me go towards my left. Okay, now I can check here if this table, okay, this form data source have any data, then I can go ahead and then I can ask for my cust table buffer, the current instance of my cust table. So I can write cust table here, cust table equals to, so from my this dot cursor I can easily get the current instance of my record. And similarly, if I need this MB-501, so there also I can say MB-500 cust table, I can say MB, I want this to be in small, okay, MB-500 cust table, and I can get this from this data source, right? So I can say MB-500 table data source dot cursor. Alright, now once this is done, okay, then I need to check if this SysExtension Serializer extension map is available, and I'm going to leverage this is extension enabled here, and here I have to specify my table ID. Okay, so table of my extension table ID, right? So I can write here table num and then my table name MB-500 table. That's it. Okay, and at the end I will simply need to link them. So I can say MB-500 table dot. Okay, it will not visible, but it really exists here. So you will need to use the same sys extension serializer extension map. So I can copy this, use this insert. So there is a function called insert after after base table. Okay, and here you need to provide the table ID. Okay, you can say table. So these are the changes that we need to do into our form if you are using sys extension serializer extension map. Okay, so there is some error. Okay, I think I have only closed them. I haven't closed this braces. So let me add one more. Okay, this should go now. Okay, and now we have seen how we can do changes into our table, into our form, but data entity, they are also critical, right? Now we'll focus on data entity creation. And at the end, we are going to test everything as well. So this video may get longer, but we have everything at one go. Okay. Now I will need to create a data entity. Okay, so I think I will need to leverage the out of the box entity only, because what will be the benefit if I will create a new entity altogether, right? So I can go to my data model here, and let me expand my data entity node here, and I will say customers v3 entity. Let me say customer v3 entity. So I'm going to create extension of this entity. Okay, once my extension is ready, then the first thing is I need to add my data sources, right? So let me try to add. Okay, so I've dragged my data source here. Now I need to select my properties. So the table name is already coming, so I will need to say please use the relation and join mode. I'm going to say outer because every custable may not have record for this one. Alright, now once this will be done, we have only done changes here. We have simply added the data source, but we haven't yet added our fields here, right? So I'm going to copy and I can paste them here. Okay, so let me expand this field node. Click again. Okay, yeah. So I've added my fields here. Hopefully they will get all the same label only, because the label from my standard editing. Okay, now I have added fields into my data entity, but as the data management is enabled for this one, so I need to add my fields into my staging table as well. So this staging table is customer v3 staging, customer v3 staging. Here we go. I can create extension for this. Okay, I can go here, and here my extension is ready. So this time what I will do, I will go to my discuss table here, and I can copy them and I can paste it here directly. And once I will paste it, I should see them here. Okay, let me check. Okay, yeah. So I added fields into my data entity as well. Okay, so that's it. Now I'm going to do a build. Make sure you have toggle the sync button. Okay, we'll do build and sync, then we'll test every scenario. Alright guys, so my build is completed. So let me open any record and let me try to edit the field. So guys, these fields are non-editable. There is one issue. So actually, if you see this data source here, instead of custable, this got selected. Okay, so that is something causing this field as non-editable. And even let me change this one to yes. And let me rebuild the solution, because currently those fields are not editable because we're not able to find the relation. Okay, so I will do a rebuild again and then we'll test it out again. Alright guys, so I've corrected that and did my build again. Now we are going to test it. So I will say here D1 and let me say this is D3. Now what will happen, a record will be created into this particular table. Okay, let me save it again. Okay, it is still saving. Okay, refresh this. So now here you can see these two fields are description and description 2, that is D1 and D data is available. Okay, and now similarly if I will do some changes, let me remove this, save, and I should see same changes. So it proves that whatever changes I'm doing into my form, they are getting initialized at my table. Okay, and second thing that we did is let me go to my data entity, because we created a data entity, right? So let me go to my data entity, and from here let me pick this one. So I will copy this, and here what I can do, I can remove this data and I can say customers v3, and here I will check this particular record context. So retail San Diego, that is ID is US-001, and I should see my these three description field. Out of that, this description D1 field should have data. Okay, and this will take some time. O data is slower. Alright guys, so now this O data is loaded and I should check my US-001 ID. So let me come down. Okay, here we go. This is the ID and we should see those three fields. Here we go. So you can see we have the data available into D1. Okay, so this is how you can leverage SysMap extension framework if you want to extend fields into your standard table. Thank you for watching this video.